The poet was perplexed to hear this answer of Swami Vedanta Deshika. At the same time, he was surprised. He read this beautiful work of Swami Vedanta Deshika and fell at the feet of Swami and said, Swami, I am very sorry for having challenged the wrong person who is none other than the incarnation of Bhagavan's Daya. I am very sorry for having doubted your supremacy over language and debating skills. Please forgive me. You have composed 1008 verses on the holy sandals of the Lord, which I thought was not even a subject, whereas I have composed just 300 verses which are of lesser meaning on Bhagavan's holy feet. Swami Vedanta Deshika said, Kavi, please get up. It is not for your challenge or my challenge. Both of us had an anubhavam, a great experience of Bhagavan's feet as well as Bhagavan's padukas in this night. And know one thing, you are saying that your work has just 300 verses and my work has 1008 verses. But do you know one thing? A mother pig gives birth to 100 piglets, whereas a mother elephant gives birth only to one single child, baby elephant. Whereas, though the number of piglets is higher, though the number is 100, whereas on the elephant side it is only one baby elephant, that one baby elephant's vaibhavam, that one baby elephant's importance is much more than the 100 piglets vaibhavam put together. Likewise, you have composed 300 verses, which is like one baby elephant, and I have composed 1008 verses, which are like 100 piglets. So it is your work which deserves more importance. On hearing these words, the poet again fell prostrate at the feet of Swami Vedanta Deshika and said, I am not surprised by the kavyam. I am not surprised by the supremacy of your language skills. But now I am surprised, and indeed excited by the modesty which you have. So this Paduka Sahasram has 1008 verses which are divided into 32 chapters. Each of the chapters is called a Paddhati, and each of them have their names. So each of these chapters is given a name, and there are 32 chapters. Put together you have got 1008 verses. Now let us all have an anubhavam of certain selected verses which will be of great use when we are talking about Ayodhya Kandam in Srimad Ramayanam. There, Swami Vedanta Deshika puts one beautiful shloka. Whenever we go on a trip, for example, we are going on an excursion, how do we pack our things? First, we will keep all our clothes, we will take the towel, we will take our brush, we will take our toothpaste, soap, everything. First of all, money. And at the end of it, if we remember and if somebody reminds us, what we'll do is, as the final thing to pack, we will take our sandals or slippers, put it in a plastic cover and keep it inside our bag. Nobody who sits and packs for his excursion will first pack his sandals and shoes first and then go to the clothes. While Rama was asked to go to the forest for 14 years, he had to pack his things. What he should have done? He should have gone and informed his mother Kausalya. He should have gone and informed Lakshmana's mother Sumitra. He should have gone and informed his wife Sita. He should have gone and informed his brother Lakshmana. Then he should have taken all the bark. Then he should have taken all the leaves, made a beautiful attire out of it, worn it, then made jata, leaving away the crown and the ornaments. And finally, when he was supposed to leave Ayodhya, he was supposed to go near the shoe rack of Ayodhya, take the sandals and walk. But what Ram instead did was, it seems, instead of informing all of them and making an attire for himself, he first packed his sandals. Swami Deshika puts a question to Ram. Hey Ram, why did you pack your sandals first? To which he gives a beautiful convincing reply. He says, Ram packed his sandals first because Ram was the first person in this world who knew the importance of his own sandals. Rajyam vihaya raghuvamsha mahipatinam pauramsya padarasikan prithvim charaktam tvameva hanta charanavani samprayasyan alambata prathama muttara kosalendraha. Then Swami Deshika says, I know very well why you packed your sandals first. Then he says, Ram, you packed your sandals first because you yourself knew, you believed that your padukas, your holy sandals, were more obedient than your wife Sita. Why did he say that? Because Ram never had the intention of taking Sita along with him to the forest. It was the word of Kaikeyi and Dasharatha that Ram should go to the forest for 14 years. They never said that Sita should go with Ram. So Ram also felt that Sita was the very ideal daughter-in-law to Dasharatha and the ideal daughter to Janaka, who lived only a life of comforts. So he felt that Sita could better stay in Ayodhya itself. So he went and told Sita that he'll be going to the forest, but Sita resisted. She said that I will not stay in Ayodhya, it is my duty as a wife to come along with you. She initially gave some reasons which Ram did not accept. Finally, she had to give a rebuking reason to Ram which made him accept, and finally she got along with Ram and went to the forest. So initially Sita was disobedient. She did not obey the words of Ram. Whereas Padukas were never like that. When Ram said to the Padukas, my father has asked me to go to the forest, and he wore the Padukas, none of the Padukas said, Ram, I have always been living in air-conditioned room in Ayodhya. So I am used to only proper vitrified flooring. I cannot stay in the thorns and bushes of the forest, so I will not be coming. The Padukas never said this to Ram. So when Ram said to Padukas that they have to come to forest, the Padukas immediately nodded their head and they agreed. But when Ram said to the Padukas again, Padukas, now my brother Bharata has come, he wants me to come, whereas I cannot come, so I am sending you along with my brother Bharata to Ayodhya, they immediately nodded their head and went back to Ayodhya. When Ram said to those Padukas that they have to come to the forest, they agreed. When Ram said to those Padukas that the Padukas have to go back along with Bharata to Ayodhya, they immediately agreed. So Swami Deshika says, I know the reason why you packed your sandals first, because the sandals were more obedient than Sita, it seems. Look at the beautiful description he gives. Abhyupeta vinivritti sahasa devi rangapati ratna paduke atyasheta bhavati mahiyasa paratantrya vibhavena maithili. Maithili, more than Maithili, that is Sita, your Padukas were more obedient, says Swami. Then comes the question as to why Ram gave his sandals to Bharata. Ram was initially said, Bharata told Ram, you will have to come to Ayodhya. Ram said that he will not be coming to Ayodhya. He even made a pratigya, he even made a vow saying that for 14 years he will be in the forest. Vasishta, who initially tried convincing Ram and who miserably failed, now after having heard the vow of Ram, he immediately said, hey Ram, if you are not coming to Ayodhya, please give your sandals. Ram gave his sandals. For example, I give 1 lakh rupees to a person. He says that after 2 years he will be giving me that 1 lakh back. I am not levying any interest from him. After 2 years I am going at his doorstep. And now I am asking for the same amount which I had given him as a loan. I am saying, my dear friend, I had given you 1 lakh rupees. Could you please return it back to me? You had promised that you will be giving me at this point of time. And that friend says, I should have given you that 1 lakh back, but I don't have that amount right now. Near my shoe rack, there is a pair of my sandals. Can you please take that and go? Will I ever listen to this? Likewise, Ram was asked to come back to Ayodhya by Bharata. And now instead of him coming, he says, Bharata, take my sandals. How is it right? That means Ram valued the sandals more than himself. Only if you value a particular object will you pawn it. For example, a mother is always used to giving certain jewels to her daughter during marriage, so that when her daughter comes across certain difficult circumstances, she can go to that particular shop, pawn her gold and get some money. Imagine that I am going to a particular shop. They accept gold jewels. Instead of giving a gold jewel, I give a stone. Can I pawn that and come? Nobody will give me money. Instead, they will take the stone and throw it back at me. But if I take a sovereign of gold chain, it has 8 grams. So that particular chain I'm going and pawning in that particular shop, he will accept. Why is he accepting that gold and giving me money? Because the person who is giving the money knows very well that the object which I am pawning has value. Likewise, Ram, when he was asked to come to Ayodhya, he could not come. As I have told, the Vishesha Dharmam of Ramavataram was Pitrivakya Paripalanam, to obey the words of his father. So he had to stay in the forest. At the same time, he could not deny his dear brother Bharata's request. So he had to give some object which was equivalent to him in value. So he gave his own sandals which were equivalent to him in his value. Padavani Prabhavato Jagatam Prayanam Ramadapi Tvamadhika Nigatam Prabhavat No Chet Kathannu Bharatasya Tameva Lipso Pratyavanam Paripanam Bhavati Bhavitri. The same concept that Ram had pawned his holy Paduka at Bharata's shop is being told by a Tamil saint who says, Maravadiyai thambikku van panayam vaittu poi vanor vaazha. Now, if you remember a few minutes back in this gathering, I said, Ram, when he was about to give his pair of padukas, sandals, to Bharata, he asked Lakshmana to bring those padukas from his hermitage, keep them on the ground. He stood on those padukas for 5 minutes and then got down and gave those padukas to Bharata. I also said that why should Ram do such a unique thing? It was quite abnormal for a person to stand on his sandals and then give. Why did he do that? In our daily lives, we come across this concept. Nowadays, everyone has a mobile phone. But that mobile phone is everything to us. It has the directory of all our numbers, all our contacts, everything. But that mobile phone is everything to us as long as it has charge in it. For example, I have charged for about 2 hours today. I can use it for the entire day. But I cannot use it for the entire month. The next day after usage, I have to go back to that place. You take that charger and insert that particular wire in that particular port, so that the mobile phone gets charged. Likewise, Ram was the mobile phone. What was his duty? His duty was to go everywhere and protect the people. He had to protect all the rishis who were tortured by the demons, the Rakshasas and the Asuras. So he was the mobile phone. Mobile itself means something which is always in motion. So Ram was the mobile phone. He had to go place to place and solve the problems of people. But a cell phone will work as long as there is charge in it. Where is the charger for Ram, who is the cell phone? His padukas were the charger. So Ram, who was always with his padukas, had to depart with those padukas because Bharata was supposed to be given those padukas. And for 14 years he cannot come in contact with his padukas because he has to go and kill all the demons. He has to protect the rishis. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya. Like how Krishna says, Paritranaya sadhunam, to protect the sadhus, vinashaya dushkritam, to annihilate the evil, dharma samsthapanam, to restore righteousness. The 3 important duties of Bhagavan had to be carried out only from now on. And he was a mobile phone. For 14 years he had to stay away from the charger. So Bhagavan stood on his padukas to get the charge, to get a part of the power what padukas had. That is what Swami says. Ram stood for 5 minutes. So he got a small portion of the charge from padukas. He got a small portion of the power from padukas. And with that power itself he was able to kill Vali. He was able to kill Ravana. He was able to kill Kumbhakarna. And he was able to do Dharma Samsthapanam. Swami now wonders, thank God Ram did not stand for more time on those padukas. If he had stood for more than 5 minutes, he could have shot an arrow from the Ayodhya itself and that would have gone and killed Ravana, it seems. Because padukas had so much of power. Now, we get a very beautiful answer from Swami Deshika as to why Ram stood on those padukas for 5 minutes and then gave those padukas to Bharata. नियतमधिरुरोहत्वा मनाधेय शक्तिं निज चरण सरोजे शक्तिमाधातु कामः स कथमितरथा त्वां न्यस्य रामो विह्ने दृशदुपति च भूमौ दण्डकारण्यभागे. Next, Swami gives a very beautiful illustration to exemplify the importance of Paduka. He says, once an elephant, which was very, very proud of its strength, went before the opening of a cave where a lion's family used to reside. It went outside the opening of the cave and gave a shabdam. That shabdam was equivalent to challenging the lion which was inside the cave. The lion, which could hear the challenging voice and the noise of this elephant, came out of the opening of the cave. While it came out, the lioness and the cub also walked along with the lion till the opening of the cave. Then the lion looked at the elephant which was standing outside and gave a sarcastic smile to the lioness and said, "You don't have to come along with me for this fight. You can get along with our cub inside the cave. In 15 or 20 minutes I will get inside the cave after victory." So the lion went and fought along with the elephant. And the lioness with the cub, which had come till the opening of the cave, that is till the dwaram, that is till the opening, the gateway of the cave, went inside comfortably. Now Swami compares the lion, the lioness, the cub and the elephant to the characters of Srimad Ramayanam. This is the most interesting part. Swami says that the elephant was none but Ravana. He was the one who gave the challenging voice, the challenge to Bhagavan, that is Ram. Ram, who was the lion inside the cave, walked along with the lioness and the cub till the opening of the cave. Looking at what had happened, looking at Ravana who had come in the form of the elephant, he said to the lioness in a sarcastic manner that to treat this Ravana, there is no need for you. You better go inside the cave and rest. And so Ram went and fought. Ram, who was the lion, went and fought with Ravana, who was the elephant. Now comes the question, what was the cave? What was the opening of the cave? And who was the lioness and who was the cub? Here Swami says that the lioness was the Paduka. The holy pairs of sandals were the lioness. And the cub was Bharata. And the cave was Ayodhya. And the dwaram, the gateway of that particular cave was the outskirts of Ayodhya. He says, hearing the challenge of Ravana, from the city of Ayodhya, Ram started. When he started, he took his padukas. His padukas were his patta mahishi. Now we should not bring Sita into picture. The poet visualizes the padukas in a feminine way and he says that the padukas were the legal wife to Ram. Because anywhere and everywhere Ram would go, he will always carry his padukas. There were instances where Ram was even without Sita. But there is no instance where Ram was without his padukas. So his padukas were his first wife. So the poet says that Ram, who was the lion, walked along with the padukas who were the lioness. While he walked till the entrance of the cave, which was equivalent to the outskirts of city Ayodhya, and he found that the elephant was none but Ravana. Ravana was not even equal before Ram in power. So he told his padukas, who were his lioness, to take care of the cub who was Bharata and go inside the cave. Because we all think that Bharata took care of the padukas, he put those padukas on his head and he walked towards Nandigramam. But Swami says padukas had so much of power that it did not need any person to take care of it. It was Bharata who was the cub, and it was padukas who were in the position of a mother, the lioness, and padukas took care of Bharata, and Bharata did not take care of padukas. It was padukas who were accompanied by Bharata, and Bharata did not take care of the Padukas, nor did he take, because Padukas were so powerful and had so much of power which was equivalent to Bhagavan himself. So the poet puts all these concepts into one beautiful shlokam. Dashagrivastaambera madala nanudinta hridaye viharasvachandyat vishati raghusimhe vanabhuvam Swavatsalya krodikrita bharatashabeva bhavati Niravadham padavani navijahau Kosala griham. Now, after having explained the Prabhavam, the importance of Paduka, he goes one step further. He says, Lakshmana went along with Ram. Now we have to split this into two categories. Ram and his Padukas on one side. The other side are his two brothers, Lakshmana and Bharata. Ram and Lakshmana were together. After this incident of Ayodhya Kandam, Ram's Padukas and Bharata were together. Ram and Lakshmana were together. Bharata and Ram's Padukas were together. Now who took care of whom comes the question. Swami Vedanta Deshika gives a befitting reply. He says, Ram was taken care by Lakshmana. We all think that Ram took care of Lakshmana. No, Swami says that Lakshmana took care of Ram. Who took care of Bharata? Padukas took care of Bharata. In turn, what does this mean? For example, had it been like this, Ram took care of Lakshmana, Ram's Padukas took care of Bharata. At least then it would have been okay. Because Ram and his belonging, both of them are the guardian to somebody. Ram was the guardian to Lakshmana. Ram's Padukas were the guardian to Bharata. Then at least the equation would have been correct. But now the poet says, Ram was taken care by Lakshmana. Ram did not take care of anybody. Ram was taken care by Lakshmana. That means what? For example, I have a particular beautiful diamond ring. Will the diamond ring take care of me, or I am going to take care of the diamond ring? I will be taking care of that diamond ring. So who is more powerful? I may be of lesser value than the diamond ring, but power wise I am more powerful. The diamond ring as such does not have any power. Likewise, Ram was an object in the hands of Lakshmana. So Lakshmana was more powerful. That is why Lakshmana took care of Ram. Whereas in the case of Bharata, Bharata did not take care of Ram's Padukas. Swami says Ram's Padukas took care of Bharata. Now if you see, Lakshmana took care of Ram, which puts Lakshmana in the first place of power, followed by Ram. In case of Ram's Padukas took care of Bharata. So Ram's Padukas come first, followed by Bharata. So Ram was also having lesser power, whereas there was no doubt whether Ram's Padukas had power or not, because they were the caretakers of Bharata. Ramam tvaya virahitam bharatam chatena pratum padavani tada yadbhut pratitam Ramanujasya tava chamba jagat samastam jagartitena khalu jagarana vratena. This is the beautiful verse which explains this concept. Next comes another concept. In Paduka Sahasram of Swami Deshika, if we go verse by verse, the first verse will be interesting. The second verse will be more interesting than the first one. The third verse will be the most interesting. In English there are only 3 degrees: positive, comparative, superlative. But if you have to decide about Vedanta Deshika's supremacy in writing Kavyam, you will have to keep on putting interesting, more interesting, most interesting, most interesting, and then you'll have to keep on increasing most to the power of n. Because the next verse we are going to see in Paduka Sahasram will give us so much of insight, because of which we will feel that Paduka Sahasram is much more interesting than Srimad Ramayanam itself. Now he connects 2 incidents. One incident is what happens during Ayodhya Kandam, which we have been witnessing till now. And he connects this with another incident which will happen later. It happens during the Ayodhya Kandam. Swami says, during the Ayodhya Kandam, when Ram, upon the advice of Vibhishana and Sugriva, was to construct a setu, a bridge. These days, if I even tell the word setu, there is so much of political controversy. So I'll put the word bridge. So, when Ram was to construct a bridge and go to Lanka so that he could fight Ravana and rescue Sita, he had to construct the setu, the bridge. To construct a bridge on Samudram, on the ocean, you need the permission of the ocean king. So Ram thought it was ethical to observe a vow, a fast for 3 days, and at the end of 3 days he wanted ocean king to appear before him and heed to his request. He observed a fast and a vow for 3 days. At the end of 3 days, Samudra Raja did not come. He did not turn up. Ram again requested Samudra Raja, to which there was no reply. For the first time in Ramayanam, we will see Ram getting angry. He turned his red-like eyes towards Lakshmana. He said, "Hey Lakshmana, please give me and bring those quiver with those arrows so that I can just shoot one arrow at this ocean king." What Lakshmana must have done? Lakshmana was always used to obeying the commands of his eldest brother Ram. Instead of heeding to his command, Lakshmana stood like a statue. Ram was getting more angry. He said, "Lakshmana, I have already asked you to bring my bow and my arrow. Please get it right now." Lakshmana went. He brought the smallest of the small arrows before Ram. He gave it to Ram. Ram looked at Lakshmana with even more red eyes and he said, "I have to strike an arrow at the ocean king and you have brought a little arrow which is used to shoot at a rabbit. Please bring me a bigger arrow." Then he got slightly a bigger arrow than that. Ram said, "Why are you trying to play with me, Lakshmana? I am already agitated and I am getting more agitated right now, and I am more irritated because of the ocean king's behavior, and till now you have not got me the right arrow." Why did Lakshmana do this? Lakshmana should have immediately brought a Brahmastram or a Pashupatastram or Narayanastram. Why did he bring the smallest of the small arrows? Why did he do this? Why didn't he execute his brother's command immediately? Because the poet says, it seems Lakshmana knew a secret even which Ram did not know. What is that secret in this world which Bhagavan Ram does not know, whereas Ramanuja knows? Ramanuja, that is Lakshmana, knew of one secret. He knew that Ram, he could win over anybody in this world, but he could not win against the Ocean King. Why is it so? Is the Ocean King so powerful? Because the Ocean King was not so powerful. Because later Ocean King came and fell at the feet of Ram and asked for sorry. He asked for forgiveness. So when he fell at the feet itself, it comes to know that Ocean King was not powerful. So this was not the reason. What was the reason? Because we always say, no, Akashat patitam toyam sagaram yatha gacchati. Sarvadeva namaskaraha keshavam prati gacchati. Water which comes from the sky as rain reaches the river, and all the river water born anywhere in this world, be it Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Sindhu, Sabarmati or Mahanadi, Tapti, Godavari, Krishna, Tungabhadra, Tamraparni, Kaveri, Brahmaputra, any river in India, all the river water have to go to the ocean. Until they go to the ocean, you can find some difference. This is Brahmaputra's water, this is Kaveri's water, this is Ganga's water. Whereas once they all come and have a confluence, Sangamam in the ocean, you cannot differentiate. And it is a rule that any water that comes from the sky has to go to the ocean. Likewise, any puja you do to any devata, be it Ganesha, Kartikeya, Shiva, Parvati, all that will go to the Divya Dampati, that is Sriman Narayan only. Kayena vacha manasendriyeva buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhavat karomi yatyat sakalam parasmai Sriman Narayanayeti samarpayami. Everything goes to Sriman Narayan. Likewise, Lakshmana knew this concept. Why did he know? Because he was Ramanuja. He was the brother of Ram. That Ramanuja who was Lakshmana also knew the secret. Even the Ramanujacharya who was born in this Kali Yugam also knew the secret. What was the secret? as I have already said, Bharata was staying in the outskirts of the city Ayodhya in a village called as Nandigramam, where he would worship the divine sandals of the Lord. What he would do is every morning during Brahma Muhurtam, he would take those holy sandals to the holy river Sarayu. He would bathe those sandals with those Sarayu water, and he would come back and place those sandals on the Simhasanam. The waters which wash the holy sandals of Bhagavan were now in Sarayu river. That Sarayu river will have a sangamam or a confluence with the ocean. Since the Sarayu river carried the water which was used to do the Abhishekam of Padukas, and it carried the waters which came after the Abhishekam, after the bathing of the Padukas, Sarayu water was very powerful. And those powerful water, when they had a confluence with the ocean water inadvertently became very powerful. So the ocean water carried the Paduka Prabhavam. So Lakshmana knew the secret. When Ram said that I need an arrow and I am going to shoot an arrow at this ocean king in such a way that all the water will get dried up and all we monkeys and Sugriva and Hanuman, all of us can walk till Lanka on the ocean bed. There will be no water. But Lakshmana knew that this task was impossible because the ocean water had the mix of Paduka water. And until and unless there is no Paduka water, Ram cannot win. Since there was Paduka water, even Ram could not have won. So Swami Vedanta Deshika proved through this shloka that Padukas, the divine sandals of the Lord, have so much of power in them. Sambidhyamana tamasa sarayupanitaihi samvardhitastava shubhair abhishekatoyaihi manye babhuva jaladhirmani padarakshe ramastra pavakashikabhira soshaniyaha. Then he says, all of you gathered here might be wondering why I have composed a work called Paduka Sahasram. What is the importance of Padukas, and why did Rama give so much of importance to Padukas? For Padukas to show so much of power also, it needs the grace of Bhagavan. Why did Bhagavan shower so much of grace on Padukas? Once in Sri Vaikuntham, Bhagavan had to come down to earth. So when he had to come down to earth, he kept all his accessories in Sri Vaikuntham itself and he came. When he left his accessories, he left Shankam, Panchajanyam, which is called Panchajanyam, the conch, Chakram, which is called as Sudarshanam, the discus, and then the mace, Kaumodaki, and then his bow, Sarangam. And then he left Adisesha, he left all these weapons on Adisesha and he came down to earth. While he came down, he also left his Divya Paduka, the holy sandals, on a Simhasanam, on a throne. And he came down. While he came down, all the weapons, that is Shankam, Chakram, Gadha and the Sarangam, all of them started looking down upon the Padukas. They started making fun of the Padukas and they said, "Hey Divya Paduka, what rights and what qualification do you have to sit on a Simhasanam? Just because Bhagavan has placed unknowingly on the Simhasanam, it is not right on your part to sit on the Simhasanam. What are you before him? Get down." And the Padukas got down and they started weeping. When Bhagavan came to Sri Vaikuntham from the earth, he was surprised to find his Padukas crying. He asked his Padukas, "Why are you weeping? What has happened to you? You were very happy when I left, but now you are crying. What happened?" His Padukas said, "All the weapons of you, Bhagavan, namely the Shankam, the Chakram, the Gadha and the Sarangam, are underestimating me and they are trying to look down upon me. You were the one who placed me on the Simhasanam. Is it my mistake? Am I that low? Am I such a low creature? Why do they look down upon me? Don't I have some importance?" Bhagavan said, "Don't worry, Padukas. I will surely see to it that in Rama Avataram you get the right place, and you get the right place where people respect you and honor you." So, in Rama Avataram, Bhagavan, he made Padukas rule the entire city of Ayodhya. Those Padukas sat on that beautiful Simhasanam where great kings sat. where even Ram could not sit for 14 years of time. And he made the weapons serve that particular Paduka. If you see, Bharata, Lakshmana and Shatrughna, they were all the incarnations. Who were all the incarnations? Lakshmana was the incarnation of Adisesha. Adisesha also poked fun at Paduka. So Ram made Lakshmana lift those Padukas, put it on the ground and give it to Bharata. So he compensated for Lakshmana's bad behavior. That is Adisesha's bad behavior. Next, followed by Shankham and Chakram. That is Bharata and Shatrughna. They were the incarnations. The Shankham and Chakram made fun of the Padukas. So what Bhagavan did was, the same Shankham and Chakram which had incarnated as Bharata and Shatrughna now were doing fanning service to the same Padukas which they had poked fun of during Ramavataram. So this is to prove the only concept that before the eyes of Bhagavan, be it the Padukas, be it the ordinary wooden slippers, or the Shankham or Chakram, or anything made of gold, iron or even straw, all of them are the same. Bhagavan never finds any difference or discrimination between objects. It is we fickle-minded people who see the differences, whereas Bhagavan never sees those differences. So Swami Vedanta Deshika beautifully captures this incident, whatever happened in Sri Vaikuntham, in a beautiful shloka. He says, Natikrame charana paduka padapitham yadva sannam paramiha sada bhati rajasanasya purvatratveva pranihitam abhudvandvaramena rajyam Shanke Bhartur Bahumati Padam Vikrame Sahacharyam. I have just quoted some sample 8 shlokas from the entire batch of 1008 shlokas. Swami composed 1008 shlokas in 3 hours. I have just explained 8 verses out of those 1008. 1008 minus 8, we have 1000 more shlokas left. But since we have to see the importance of Ramayanam, I am stopping here with the importance of Padukas. People who are interested should really have a glimpse and a look and a Kalakshepam and an Upanyasam, a proper discourse on the entire set of 1008 shlokas of Paduka Sahasram. Each and every shloka is like a diamond. Each and every shloka is like a pearl. Each and every shloka is like a coral. Every shloka has so much of value. There is nothing like one shloka has more, one shloka has less. Swami's eloquence, Swami's bhakti can never be equaled. All that we have seen through Ayodhya Kandam is how Dasharatha, who wanted to coronate Rama as a king, could not do it. How Kaikeyi's task of sending Ram to the exile for 14 years was accomplished, but her task of coronating her son Bharata was not accomplished because Bharata's only intention was to serve Ram, and how he had carried out the Paduka Pattabhishekam. At the end of Ramayanam, we will see Rama Pattabhishekam. But I will tell you one concept. More than Rama Pattabhishekam, which happens at the end after the Ravana Nihatya, after Ravana's death, after Kumbhakarna's death, after Indrajit's death, all of the monkeys, they all come to Ayodhya and Rama is coronated as the king. It is called Rama Pattabhishekam, with which we will be concluding. But that Rama Pattabhishekam is important. But one step more important than Rama Pattabhishekam is Paduka Pattabhishekam, is Ram's Paduka, which ruled the city of Ayodhya for 14 years. So the Paduka Prabhavam, the Paduka Pattabhishekam is a very important concept in Ayodhya Kandam. And with this, we will be completing the entire set of Ayodhya Kandam. Ityarushe Srimad Ramayane Valmikiye Adikavye Ayodhya Kandam Samaptam.